Still a dive. It's beachfront, Evan. It wouldn't matter if it was a pup tent. It's on the beach. That's Real Estate 101. Have I taught you nothing? Since I'd moved back to Buttermilk Bay from Boston at the behest of my dearest friend, in order to start the next chapter of my life staging houses, I'd learned a lot about the whys and wherefores of real estate and house flipping. 1. Beachfront property could have a house made of sticks on it with pine needles for a roof, and someone would buy it. 2. Location, location, location. I ran my hand over the faux vintage-inspired area rug, smoothing out the wrinkles, repeating the fairy words I just thought. You've taught me that you could sell dentures at a breast implant convention, and that every night when I get into bed, I'm beyond grateful you've included me in your selling spree. I'm happy just to ride your coattails. Fab had always been the more adventurous of the two of us. So when she'd taken on the project of revitalizing Buttermilk Bay, our small, maybe even antiquated town, to bring in more commerce and young families, she'd gleefully accepted the challenge and invited me along for the ride with this wacky scheme of staging houses. Of course, I was sort of at loose ends when she asked, for reasons I'm not sure I'm quite yet ready to reflect upon out loud. Let's just say I lost my HR job of 22 years, 2 months, and 8 days, and leave it at that for now, shall we? Anyway, Fab had always loved Buttermilk Bay, and she'd proven that by coming home after college and planting roots, while I left and stayed left. Stayed gone. In Boston, that is. Until only last year, which I suppose should make me the more adventurous one, seeing as I left home and went to a strange new city to live. But the difference is, I'd chosen a safe HR position, eventually becoming a director while still sucking the soul from my very core, and Fab had struck out on her own, doing what she loved. First, selling houses and starting her own real estate business, and then, 10 years ago, flipping houses. As far as I was concerned, being self-employed was scary AF, as the kids say these days, and far more adventurous than I'd ever been. But Fab had excelled. And I hoped to follow in her footsteps now that I'd started Stage Right, which, by the way, was the very definition of scary AF. Hey, she said on a tinkly giggle, settling on her haunches in front of me in heels, no less, a position I fervently envied, mind you. You're not writing anything. You're starting a new chapter in your life with a little help from your best friend. You're writing a new beginning. It's called Over 50 and Stinkin' Amazing by Evanora Lavinia Dark, a guide to living life your own way after almost dying. It's true. At 50, I'd almost died. Chuckling, I responded, That's a pretty long title. Don't they say titles shouldn't be longer than 5 words? She shook her dark head at me, the curtain of her thick black hair swishing against her official navy blue real estate blazer as she rose on graceful legs. Not when you're over 50. When you're over 50, you can have whatever length title you want. It says so in the Over 50 Guide to Living Your Life Free of the Chains That Bind. I think you'd better not apply for any publishing jobs, I teased, holding my hand out to her. She grabbed it and helped yank me upward, pulling me into a hug. Have I told you how happy I am you're here, and that I no longer have to have girls' night margaritas over Skype while I'm in my sweats and a baggy t-shirt? I hugged her back, just as happy to be here, believe you me. I've been back for almost a year, Fab. You've told me that often. She gripped my shoulders with her perfectly manicured hands and squeezed. I think we've both learned. We can never say it enough because you just never know. Then she pulled me into another tight hug. Don't ever do that to me again, Evan, she whispered, her tone fierce. Not ever. I leaned back in her hug and shot her a teasing smile. You mean have a stroke followed by a heart attack, a quadruple bypass, and a corrupt...